Welcome, everybody. Hello. And for those who are just joining, welcome. And it's amazing how many signups we had for this and that you're tuning in. And with me is Gabriel, who leads our SaaStock Local program. He's joining all the way from UK. So without further ado, Gabriel, do you quickly want to tell us what is SaaStock, what is SaaStock Local, and what are we doing here today? And for those who don't know me, my name is Belinda Esterhammer. I'm SaaStock's head of APAC and based in Hong Kong. All right, up to you now, Gabriel.
Thank you very much, Belinda. I was just going to introduce you there. So yes, I am Gabriel. I lead global community for SaaStock. Good evening there, APAC. We are here in London. So just starting the afternoon. Yes, it's great to have you all here. And we're really excited to do this kind of first webinar for APAC. For those who don't know us, we are SaaStock. SaaStock, we are a global community really focused on B2B SaaS. We started with a blog and a podcast with our founder, Alex Fiuma, founder and CEO, and who then started what has been up to now our flagship conference, which happens in Dublin every year. This year, so it normally happens in October, and the whole purpose is to help SaaS companies get more traction, grow, and scale. So this is what we've been doing all along. So from SaaStock, last year we started having a more global approach, and we started doing sister conferences, basically what our conferences, a family of conferences, bringing them into other territories, including in Latin America, in North America, in Asia, in Australasia. So what we've also been doing to encourage the global community to come together is we launched what is called SaaStock Local, which is where we are now today. SaaStock Local, basically we've been identifying key community builders and influencers in different cities around the world who think, they want to bring what we've been doing for the community to their own cities and be able to support them with regular engagements and facilitating a space for opportunity, for basically a space for companies and for people in SaaS to connect. And so we started this last year with 6 cities. So we've been opening chapters, we've been building in different continents, and we've come all the way to 30 cities in 1 year. So we've been really excited to work with amazing people that have been helping us kind of spread what we do in all of the cities. We've been looking to also start new chapters in Asia, and this is one of the reasons we are here. We think that there's incredible opportunity, especially nowadays for SaaS companies, and that it is important to come together as one. So yes, this is what SaaStock Local is. We build our community chapters there. So what's happening today? We're all going through a crisis. It's tough times and it's challenging for everybody. So we want to make sure as a community that we are there and that we can be there to support all of the kind of like the lives in the companies in the SaaS community to pretty much make a difference, but also to start, let's say, conversations on what's important and how we can move forward. And so this is the start of that, and we hope that we'll be able to do many more. So yes, what we're also doing is, of course, given the current climate that everybody's been having to postpone events, and basically we've been moving more digital and moving more into digital. And we are really excited to launch our first fully remote conference, which is going to happen on the 10th and 11th of June. That's exciting because we'll be able to use a great platform, which is where we are now in Hopin, to be able to replicate a lot of the work we do at the conferences, and we'll be able to replicate the stages and the networking and everything, all the kind of matchmaking and expo booths, everything. So we are refocusing, readapting to times, and yeah, really happy to be here. So what's happening today? Today we're talking about building communities in Asia. Belinda, as you mentioned, she is our head of APAC, and she's also been working on kind of how do we build a community there. And those are the kind of like starting points that we were going to today. So yeah, I'm really excited. She's going to announce all the agenda and the lineup, and be having great conversations with our speakers, who are being really, really thankful for giving their time today to us. And so thanks for joining. After this, we're gonna give you a heads up on what's happening next, more info on the remote conference, and also I'd like to really encourage. I know that there's a real opportunity to start conversations for how do we do more remote events in Asian communities. How do we do more of the SaaStock Local while this is going on? So if you do, we'll also send an application so that you can start your chapter there, and we can start it remotely first. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to invite Belinda back so that, yeah, Belinda is there. No, Hande is here, and Belinda should be joining now so that they can start the show. So how are you, Hande?
Thank you very much, Gabriel. I think we are all having some challenges about finding the backstage, finding the front stage. So sorry about that for the listeners today. I hope I haven't messed up the things, and I'm just in the right place.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna leave you to it. Everybody, just enjoy the great conversations. Feel free to use the chat and to ask your questions and engage as much as you like. So have a great evening.
Thank you. Same for you.
Thank you so much, Gabriel, and welcome, Hande, all the way from Istanbul. Thank you so much for joining us today, and it's amazing to have you for this Ask Me Anything. And before we get into it, I just want to let you all know, if you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. We'll be answering them throughout our Fireside chat. So don't hesitate, don't wait until the end, just ask along. And we're going to be discussing everything around communities today, but also about Hande. So can you please tell us a bit more about yourself and what you do with Insider?
Just like all the entrepreneurs in the world, I think we are trying to find a solution to a problem, because when we observe the progress of the e-commerce businesses in the last century, we can see that there is a sharp increase in the volume of the e-commerce and its transactions. So this is why Insider, while for the world the e-commerce is coming that important, trying to solve the problem of creating a multi-channel experience for the personalization of the online users. So every company, every e-commerce company now trying to be existent in the different channels, including web, including desktop, including app. And what they need is a cross-journey platform for their users, that they can understand more about their users, but taking actions accordingly. So it's an integrated platform which exists in all the channels, and connect these user behaviors, unify the user behaviors, and take actions on those users accordingly. And of course, with an easier way of integration, easier way of operations. Because I know that at the end of the day, digital marketers, when they come to office or working from home, and when they sit in front of their computer, they have lots of things to take care of. So this is why our job is making their life easier regarding the optimization of the conversion rates. The biggest challenge in the world is, I think companies are paying a lot of problem to advertisements or online or digital advertisements, but the conversion rates, so when the traffic comes to their website, the conversion rates, converting these users into buyers is the biggest challenge. When you look at the numbers, it's around only 2% or 3% of the users which can be converted into buyers. So with an integrated platform, easy to operate, easy to use, I think we are solving for this problem. So this is about Insider. If you actually ask this story of mine, I would definitely prefer to talk about more the story of the founders of this company, because I think Insider has been established with very romantic reasons, because we wanted to show the whole world that breakthrough product companies can be also created outside of Silicon Valley. When you look at the east part of the world, all those sunrises from the east, we don't see many companies which became actually global and raised from the east part of the world, software companies. So this was the why of Insider, the intention that we have built Insider. We have started to build Insider. founders coming from different and very humble backgrounds, and they got to actually different roles when the company actually becomes or let's say exceed $10 million of ARR. And I think we have a good mix. 3 founders from business background, 3 founders from technical background, and we were pretty much lucky to bring all those people together. And we have an experience to do business together with 3 of them. The other 2 we met on the way. So this is the brief story of Insider. What we are trying to do is we would like to continue to expand our expansion. Currently, we have clients from 24 different countries: Australia, and Malaysia, Indonesia, Hong Kong are some of the markets of Insider in the east part of the world. While we had rapidly expanded to Europe almost a year ago, and very recently started our France and Italy offices. The intention for this year was going to US, but I think we had to postpone it because this is a time that we should be pretty much, I think, cautious of the effort or the where we are putting our efforts. So this is the brief story of Insider.
Amazing. Do you just want to give us numbers around Insider, just so people also get a grasp of actually how big your company is and how the amazing things you do?
Yeah. Do you want me to connect these numbers also with the crisis, so I can also explain how we have been affected by the crisis, or do you want me to keep it as a general numbers?
No, it would be amazing if you could connect it to right now.
Yeah, because if we are having a conversation in the time of crisis, I think it will be very important to connect the things with the crisis and give the context accordingly. So the numbers, as a company who is going to celebrate its 8th year, almost 2 days later, I can say that for the last 3 years consecutively, we have been grown by more than 100%. But the last year, 2019, we have grown by a little bit more than 90%, which was under the 100%, which is normal because as a company still in the scale-up period, not multi-disruption period, but in the 7th year, I think, or 8th year, keeping this growth rate of 80 to 90% is still pretty much okay. We were targeting higher growth rates this year by the also positive effects of the new markets. But of course, we are seeing a slowdown in the new acquisitions. We are seeing a slowdowns in the accounts receivables because the payments are generally being postponed. And we are seeing also some, increasing churn trends. But overall, and luckily, Insider is an insider-like companies, B2B SaaS companies who is serving to online businesses. We have been affected also. I think no one can say that we are totally fine and we haven't been affected. I don't think any company in this world, apart from some very specific verticals, haven't been affected from this time. But I think we have been indirectly affected because while our clients in the e-commerce have been affected, we can see the also effects of it at Insider. In addition to that, I think because having different clients from different verticals, we have a very diversified customer base. We have a chance to, also seeing increasing trends in the number of users, number of traffics in the specific verticals. So, for example, some of the biggest airline companies in the world, including Singapore Airlines, Turkish Airlines, Air Baltic, are the clients of Insider. We call them, by the way, clients partners. But at the same time, we have clients from online grocery verticals. We have clients from personal care products. We have clients from marketplaces. And the trend we observe for those companies is the number of sessions, the number of users, and number of transactions are increasing. So this is why we are seeing also a huge positive improvement for those websites as apps. But at the same time, there have been some verticals heavily affected. This diversified customer base of Insider is actually helping us to still improve our business. Those were the first effects that we see and we observe. But I think any company who is actually doing an online business, or let's say doing a business, a SaaS company, doing a business with online or e-commerce companies, I think we should be a little bit like patient. I call it like a keeping our breath, and then just be patient for a couple of months, because we think that currently postponed payments, although the purchasing power in the world is going to decline, those postponed purchases of the users are going to take place in June, July, when the world kind of starts to get back to normal. Let me give you an example. Think about an e-commerce website selling, baby or infant, things, and now the parents are only buying maybe diaper or baby food. They prefer not to buy a baby carriage. But after a couple of months later, when we start to get out of our homes, they have to buy this baby carrier. So when those time comes, those companies will need us more than ever. Or think about a Singapore Airlines. Yes, we all, of course, see a decline in the trends of all the airline companies. And Singapore Airlines is a very great partner, of course, facing that kind of recession nowadays. But after a couple of months, when the travel restrictions are going to be cancelled, then they are going to need the tools like us, B2B SaaS companies, more than ever, because of the optimization of or getting their users back. So I believe that, yes, tough times even for the B2B SaaS, but I believe that when the postponed payments are going to take a baby in place, I think the world is going to need us more than ever. All of us, all B2B SaaS companies.
Just a quick question, Hande. Your camera is off. Can you turn your camera on again, or are you having any issues?
So I need to camera on again.
Yes.
Okay. Let me. How is that? Now is it working?
Oh yeah, now it's working again. Thank you so much. We already have some questions for you. Aim from Thailand is asking, what are you most afraid of that will kill insiders' business?
Good question. I think in terms of the business itself, we are not that afraid, because still online is a important power for people's transactions, because of the online is having challenging times. But at the same time, of course, some of the verticals have been affected in a much more, I think, strong way. However, the business itself still going pretty much okay due to the increasing trends in some verticals. What I'm afraid of, we have seen some news in the newspapers or online publishers a couple of days ago about layoffs and about salary cuts or about some challenges they are having, although they have been funded very recently. So my biggest concern, not only for insiders, for any company in the world, although business have not been affected, people have or partners have, clients sometimes have more tendency to keep the reserve the cash. So I think it's a chain. Not only insider, but all the business may have stopped, even the most funded funds. So they have to optimize their costs, because now all the parties or all the vendors kind of slow down the payments. So I think cash flow is going to be a challenge, not only for the startup or scale-up companies like us. It is going to be a challenge for the whole world, because whatever you listen, whatever the webinar you join, there's only one advice: reserve cash, reserve cash, reserve cash. So everyone now is reserving their cash, and I don't know how we are going to continue doing this cash flow between all the businesses or interconnected businesses. I think this will be the challenge for all companies, starting from the well-funded funds or even funds with the resources as with the small funds. Something to consider.
Definitely. And I think also, like, when you speak about companies, and going back to the beginning of your story, when you started with like 6 desks and 5 co-founders in a really small office, and from humble beginnings, and you grew that big. So in your interview, you said that you wanted to go there, but others that not, and that you were really bullish. And that's why you moved east. And that's also what a hungry yet high potential market is. And I think many of our audience can really relate to that. Can you please elaborate a bit about like what makes the Asian market so special for you and what was so desirable to go east first?
I think it is an interesting story for us because the first reason that we decided to go to east first was about the competition. Because we were thinking that the competition in the east was a little bit less compared to west part of the world. We were under the assumption that also maybe selling the businesses in the east parts must be easier because they know they are not going to need the tools like us. And we went there with an intention of democratizing the technologies because those markets were still underserved markets that time, and still they are underserved. Even when they are working with the companies in the US, there are now direct contacts in those countries locally, like Malaysia, like Indonesia. So we decided to put our teams there, democratize the technology, giving them also opportunity for working directly with our people face to face. So I remember those times, we even had the t-shirts of that, crocodiles from Bosphorus. We called ourselves crocodiles because there was one of the, sayings of Jack Ma about being a crocodile. He said that before they go to US, eBay is a shark in the ocean. We are a crocodile in the Yangtze River. If we go to ocean, we will lose. If we stay in our Yangtze River, we will win. So this is why we were thinking that not just like with the Yangtze River of China, we were thinking that the east part of the world is more suitable for us, like those crocodiles. But when we went to those markets, I think the competition was already there. So we were a little bit mistaken about the competition, but we managed to also win over the competition in time. So that was the first intention that we decided to go to and first expand the eastern market. However, once we started to sell our sales operations in the market, once we started to see the huge potential, once we started to see many online companies with great potential, we decided that it's a great market, and we decided to replicate this sales operations and success in the different countries of the region. So this is why in Asia we have more than 12 countries that we exist.
Amazing. And I love being a crocodile instead of other people being a unicorn. So
it's a t-shirt again that we also had as a logo, crocodiles from Bosphorus, Istanbul, beautiful Bosphorus, right? I hope that one day every single people in that call will have a chance to come to Istanbul, have some drink, probably rakı, Turkish national drink, kind of national drink, under the Bosphorus. And I was thinking about wearing that t-shirt, but it was an old logo. But we have even t-shirt of that, crocodiles from Bosphorus. By the way, I know that it will be pretty much promising, but anyone who would like to one day come to Istanbul, visit us, we will be pretty much open to welcome anyone in Istanbul, in the world's capital city. Thank you.
Thank you for this offer. To eat all the food in Istanbul. I love Istanbul. I miss the food. So you said that you are in 12 countries in Asia. Like we all know Asia, and we all know that, in terms of culture, every country is different. So how did that affect Insider? Did you have to change your business model for each of these countries and like reaching those communities, or did you not have issues around that?
Yeah, for some countries, I think they are pretty much similar. I can't see that much difference between Singapore, Malaysia, or Indonesia, although they are very different countries. I was pretty much surprised to see that, how the countries and the culture that close to each other might vary when I visit those countries. But I think it's the nature of the all countries in the world. Even the ones who are close, they have very different cultures with maybe less influence. But I think Asia Pacific, especially the other side, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, they are pretty much similar, and there are a lot of commonalities. And the best thing about those countries, they all speak English very well. And this is why you can communicate in English. And it doesn't make it becomes like a very important market barrier. But in Japan, a country that you can only sell via agencies, then you need to, of course, adapt to this model of the, for example, in the sales, in an agency model. In Korea, the way that we sell, is different. So this is why, of course, we have adapted to the cultures of the many different countries, even talking to clients. There's a very funny story here. I remember one day I had been in one of the account meetings, or we have visited one of our partners in Indonesia. And the thing is, Instar is providing a lot of career opportunities in the different countries for its people. And one of our very old customers, head of e-commerce, has started to work with us, and she became, as a Russian people lady, she became the head of or country manager of Indonesia, and then we went to a meeting together. And she was pretty much already adapted to the culture. I wasn't. As you can see, I'm kind of a very loud person. I went in the meeting, and I was very excited, telling about what we are planning, what should be the next action that we take, the new products. And I have seen that I actually disturb and maybe scared those guys a little bit because of talking in a very excited way, very loudly. So even that kind of cultural differences matters. Turkish people are unfortunately very loud people. This is not the case in some parts of the Asia. So even that kind of cultural differences or differences are making some changes or it requires adaptation.
We have some more questions coming in. Can you list the top 3 success factors that took your company where it is today?
Success factors. We have actually bad fame in the country that we have first established, or maybe even in all the countries that we exist. We are working a little bit hard. I would say in the first days it was much more. I think it was much more tough, or let's say tougher. But we are still working hard, probably a little bit, more than the average in the sector. So people with different life choices, we are not for them. So I would say the first and most important success criteria was working hard. I think when you find the right integration, it's manageable, but you need to have a very important reason for, or let's say very connected reason of existence in life about changing something. So this is how you can get adapted to this long and long dedication and working hours. This is the first thing that made the difference. Second thing is, I had a chance to see many founders in the world, and I have seen many talented co-founders. I had a chance to meet with very talented CEOs. I'm still not one of them. I'm trying to be by working hard again. But I think the combination and my founders and the being very talented guys sharing the same values in life, I think it was a second success factor. And the third thing is, I think measuring the learn and measuring the things is important. Key metrics of the company should be tracked very well, and the actions should be taken accordingly, especially for sales, especially for products. But I'm not talking about the very simple metrics like MRR. I'm talking about metrics that you should track and take action, because a good CEO is always a good chief pathol officer. Before the pathol occurs, you need to foresee it and you need to prevent it. So those metrics help you to see the pathols and prevent it. I think we are good chief pathol leaders. This is this third reason. We are trying to. It's not because of that we are good. It's because of that we had a chance to observe the metrics and take the actions before the pathol occurs. I think this is not about only being metric oriented. This is also being about a good preventer of the pathols. Those are the things that I think this puts the success together. Yeah.
I think you also just demonstrated number 2, because you said that you're not one of the top CEOs yet, but that also shows how humble you are.
No, I'm not. Actually, Good leaders are can be called as good leaders or CEOs in the tough times. I think those times are pretty much indicators. And the success, definitely the definition of success for everyone is changing. And to me, the real success is going to become when the insider is going to be a real global company, and maybe with a successful IPO, maybe with a successful exit, or maybe becoming a very big company, which is going to be the best marketing software company in the world. So I think, yes, we have good fundings. So yes, we may, I don't want to give a teaser, but we may very soon have new fundings or news for the ecosystem. We will see. But those are only milestones. I think road to success is a never-ending way, and I think we, in order to call ourselves successful, we should reach a success that can be counted as success and inspired by anyone. I think then we will be feeling that we are there, but not yet.
Okay. How did you leverage the local tech ecosystem to scale in Asia?
I couldn't. We couldn't. I think that Singapore is a very nice place and the place with a lot of advantages about with the tech ecosystems. But unfortunately, I'm not a good at this leveraging the ecosystems. It's ecosystems. I think help can be about incentives. Ecosystem help can be about maybe reaching the right people. Unfortunately, we haven't taken enough action to be part of this ecosystem, staying in a right contact with the ecosystem. So this is why it was always the efforts of sales, efforts of meeting the new clients, efforts of getting some incentives was only just effort of ours. So unfortunately, we couldn't get any advantage of that. Yeah, but we should have. I think it's something very important.
And with everything that's going on right now in the world, what are actually the business opportunities you have identified during the last weeks? Somebody asked, are you looking to also expand to Latin America?
I think we have already expanded to Latin America because we hired our country manager for Brazil 2 months ago, but he started to work with us a month ago. Not a good timing, of course, to go to a new country to start the sales. I don't know the current situation in Brazil. Maybe it's not that bad, but we have started to work with Moritz, ex-Googler. He is now our country manager of Brazil. The expansion already started, but of course, those times are kind of times that we need to see. We need to track the new acquisitions and the potential. So this is why we are going to see, and then how it goes. But when the right time comes, I believe that Brazil is a great market in terms of the potential. A difficult market because of the recruitment or hiring challenges, because of the retention challenges of the people. But I think it's a great market.
Okay, and apart from like Latin America, what opportunities have you identified right now that you might have not identified before everything happened with Corona?
The opportunities. Again, I think the opportunities, I don't want to sound opportunistic, but maybe I'm not going to mention it only for Insider, but I can tell this for the whole B2B SaaS companies. I think, again, when the things are going to go back to normal, the online businesses are going to need us more than ever. If they are paying us like 2K or 3K or 10K, they will have more tendency to pay the companies like us more, because they are going to need us to get back to normal. Again, I'm telling this not only for Insider. I think it's important for the also other B2B SaaS companies working as a third party with those, with those companies. It's important to hear. And because of the concerns around social distancing, and I think because of the concerns around, travel and flights and etc., online businesses or the logic of online purchases are going to be in our lives much more than ever. I think it's going to be inevitable now for the any people in the world. Maybe just like my mom, who prefers to go to offline and buy something always, buying something always looking and just tasting or whatever. Now she's also started to do her stuff or buy something from online. So I think online's future, although we have challenging times at the moment, is going to be in a different place in the world very soon. This is the very high level opportunity that we see.
That's great to hear. And with so many enterprise partners, what is the strategy really in building value? How do you build value with Insider?
Mm-hmm. I think this value building question is about should be about two things. Of course, first, products, because although many companies are trying to also their own efforts to understand more about the users, I think still because of having very old and let's say slow, not agile tools in our life, they couldn't manage still to understand more about their users and manage their journeys. So this is why with the products, with the innovative, not only innovative, inventive products, we are trying to change their lives and make it easier for them to understand the users and take actions accordingly. This is the first value, of course. But I don't think that for the products like us, backed by artificial intelligence and machine learning, capabilities, they cannot be used, even though we have a control panel and the users can enter the panel, use the products from there. But of course, the optimum usage of the platform itself requires a lot of guidance. So this is why having local teams in all those countries with our account managers is the second and most important value. I think especially in Asia, digital marketers were quite already sick of just waiting for the US, the call times, time differences, a lot of Zooms. So this is why this was the challenge that we see in the market. So I think the second real value comes from having local teams in the region.
Okay, thank you so much. We are out of time now, and our next speakers are already in the queue. Is there anything you wanna let our audience know before we both are gonna dial up?
Okay, so maybe one thing. It will be a very cliche saying, but I think we should keep the faith. This is the first thing. Always keep the faith. And it sounds very commercial for the whole world, but I think no one can refuse that how Steve Jobs was a great leader building great products. Just like he always says, even in the time of crisis, we should stay hungry and we should stay foolish. Thank you very much to everybody for listening.
Thank you so much, Hande.